These three mantises want to break this eggshell, hoping for a nice meal. The eggshell breaks open to reveal a small monster inside. It has enough limbs and a tail. The three mantises look quite hungry. They use their side-like front legs to start attacking the small monster. It looks like it's in pain, but who knows? The newly born monster has tough skin and thick flesh, so the attack doesn't seem to hurt it. When he turned it over, he saw that this guy looked like Godzilla. It seems that it was captured by the three mantises when Godzilla left its nest. But the three mantises don't seem to realize that this is the offspring of the Monster King. They keep attacking and haven't given up on the idea of eating the small monster. Seemingly in pain, it continuously lets out small cries. Hearing its offspring's cries, Godzilla rises up from the deep sea. Heading towards its nest, Godzilla discovers the three mantises bullying its offspring. In its fury, Godzilla lets out a menacing roar. It seems they think one is smaller than three. The three mantises continue to trample on the small monster, appearing defiant. Thinking they could intimidate Godzilla, they instead make it even angrier. With blood rushing to its head, Godzilla immediately attacks. Immediately, one of them lunges forward, using its scythe to slash at Godzilla's neck. With its extensive experience as a multiple WWE champion, Godzilla doesn't take long to force one of them into immediate retirement. Seeing its father's dominance, Minazilla quickly crawls to the front to complain to its dad. Realizing that its son seems to be premature, Godzilla flies into a rage, wanting to take the lives of these damned mantises. Seeing this, the remaining two immediately rush into attack. One is turned into BBQ by Godzilla's atomic breath. Godzilla kicks a rock to provoke the remaining mantises. Not understanding what's going on in their heads, they pass the rock back and forth like a game of catch. I pass to you, you pass to me, then I pass to you again. But unexpectedly, they throw the rock towards Minazilla. Minazilla, in pain, falls to the ground and cries. Seeing his son getting beaten up without doing anything, Godzilla moves his son aside. Seizing the opportunity, the two mantises launch a sneak attack. Godzilla manages to take out one of them, but he can't avoid the attack from the second one. But it's okay. Even with two more, and a few extra, they'd still be swatted away by Godzilla like dust. The remaining mantis watches and imagines itself in the same situation, so it doesn't dare to act recklessly. After the preparation stage, Godzilla cooks it right away. Seeing its friend cooked to perfection, panicking, the remaining mantis runs away. Godzilla roars in victory. Minazilla doesn't understand what's happening. Why it's being hit on the head by rocks, and then by its father's tail. Just after being born, it's already encountered so many problems. And the father, after finishing the fight, just walks away, not realizing that his son can't walk on his own yet. It's really hard to understand. Then, suddenly, a beautiful girl appears out of nowhere. Then they call out to each other, as if they're having a conversation. What kind of weird script is this? The girl picks a fruit or something for Minazilla to eat. Although it's very sad to be left behind, receiving food from the beautiful girl makes it happy again, and it wags its tail like a little puppy. After walking for a while, the father finally notices that he can't find his son anywhere. Realizing that his son can't walk yet, Godzilla gestures for his son to hold onto his tail, and then the two of them head back to the nest. In the blink of an eye, Minazilla has grown larger than before. But it seems the boy still isn't much luckier than he was when he was younger. Playing with a rock, he could still trip and fall. This isn't about luck, it's because he's a bit clumsy. And the monster King Godzilla spends the whole day just eating and sleeping. Minazilla seems to be fascinated with his father's tail. He runs over, jumps on it, and of course, falls down once again. Godzilla looks at his clumsy son with a resigned expression and sighs. Although clumsy, he manages to figure out the pattern and finds jumping back and forth very entertaining. But being clumsy means he's still clumsy. He once again steps on his father's tail and falls. What kind of weird thing am I watching? Having his nap interrupted, Godzilla looks angrily at his son. Seeing this, Minazilla sadly goes off to another spot. He happens to run into that human girl again. He is very happy. Even his legs go weak, and he squats down, because the girl will give him something tasty to eat. Knowing he likes fruit, the girl quickly picks a pomelo and gives it to him. Just by looking at his eyes, it's clear how much he likes that fruit. Who is this guy? Godzilla wakes up and, noticing his son is missing, goes looking for him. Terrified by Godzilla's appearance, the couple immediately runs away. Minazilla wants to run after them to play, but is stopped by his father. With this level of intelligence, it's really worrying to leave his son alone. Because his father prevents him from following the two humans, Minazilla throws a tantrum and lies down on the ground. As both a father and a mother, Godzilla doesn't know how to handle his son's stubbornness. He has no choice but to grab his son's tail and drag him back to the nest. 6 months ago, a plane was caught in a severe storm. The pilots got lost because the signals were continuously interfering. Suddenly, they noticed something gigantic emerging from the ocean. The pilots immediately maneuvered the plane, and fortunately, they managed to escape from Godzilla. Finally, they marked and identified the location of the monster island when they saw Godzilla heading towards it. Immediately afterward, they set up a research facility on the island. Here, they conducted a series of mysterious studies. They claimed they could manipulate the island's climate at will, and on a larger scale, to address future global climate change, using a hot air balloon to ascend to an altitude of 1 kilometer. Then, they activate the freezing device, release the mixed gases from the experimental tower. The temperature on the island begins to drop dramatically. When they thought everything was going smoothly, suddenly, the equipment was unexpectedly affected by electromagnetic interference. The climate on the island seemed to spiral out of control. As a result, the entire island endured a massive storm and widespread flash floods, seemingly intent on destroying the entire island. However, after the storm, the chemicals that had been released and leaked began to attract the giant creatures on the island. They gathered and continuously dug for something beneath the layer of rocks and soil. Soon after, a glowing object gradually emerged from beneath the layer of earth. At this point, the research team realized that the glowing object was the source of the interference. And what followed was the battle we saw at the beginning of the video. The scene where Minazilla is born prematurely and nearly becomes lunch for the 3 mantises, and then is rescued by Godzilla. Although much larger than before, Minazilla still brings considerable trouble to his father. He also learned how to use atomic breath from his father. Godzilla shows his son what atomic breath can do, with the aim of teaching him how to protect himself. Or maybe not. However, Minazilla is still just a child. He remains very mischievous and stubborn. It turns out that even as the king of monsters, Godzilla still has to deal with the headaches and exhaustion of parenting. To help his son grow up quickly and become strong enough to face other giant creatures, Godzilla always makes his son practice atomic breath so he can soon control its power. It's like this. Take a deep breath from your belly, then forcefully exhale through your mouth. Push all the air from your belly up to your chest, then out through your mouth. Something like that. Upon witnessing the true power of his father's atomic breath, Minazilla becomes frightened and quickly hugs his father. He tells Godzilla that it's too difficult and he doesn't want to do it. Frustrated with his son, Godzilla raises his hand to threaten him, afraid of receiving another atomic punch filled with his father's love. In the end, he manages to shout out an atomic donut. Godzilla patiently teaches his son again, demonstrating it one more time. Then, he tries to encourage his son, urging him to try again. Realizing his son is still quite timid, Godzilla stomps hard on his tail, indirectly causing him to successfully perform the atomic breath. This teaching method seems to be highly effective. Minazilla looks very happy and thrilled that he has managed to perform the atomic breath. After that, he practices a few more times on his own, of course, without anyone having to stomp on his tail. Afterward, he runs over and hugs his father to sleep. The next morning, while strolling around the island, Minazilla accidentally encounters a young girl being attacked by giant mantises. Seeing the hideous appearance of the mantises, combined with having learned atomic breath, without bothering to greet them, he immediately gives one of the mantises an atomic donut, causing the mantises to be injured and left open-mouthed. Riding the wave of success, Minazilla gives the mantises a few more donuts to make a full box. But mantises are not so easily intimidated. It retaliates continuously with side-like strikes from its limbs. The aftermath of the battle accidentally awakens another creature deep underground. The battle continues, and it seems Minazilla is on the defensive in this fight. Although there is resistance, it is not significant. Outmatched in both size and battle experience, it seems Minizilla has realized he is no match for it. He tries attacking with atomic donuts, but it seems they no longer have any damaging effect on the mantis. Oh, what a coincidence and surprise! Godzilla happens to walk by and accidentally breathes atomic breath just as Minizilla is in danger. Less surprised and in pain, the mantis immediately runs away on all fours. But now, the real danger is about to appear. From beneath the rocks and soil, a massive poisonous spider crawls up from the ground. Upon seeing the two running away, it immediately shoots spider silk to catch its prey. Fortunately, the young man quickly uses a lighter to escape the spider's silk. They continue to try to escape the giant spider, but find themselves in a dead end. With a gun in hand, he manages to thwart the giant spider's attack. Ignoring the two individuals, the giant creature advances towards the research facility. It discovers many people hiding in the caves. It shoots silk to block their escape routes and then uses its long, sharp legs to attack those inside the cave. Hearing the screams from afar, Minizilla approaches out of curiosity. When he is spotted by the giant spider and becomes terrified, he tries to run but is caught by the spider's web. He then uses atomic breath in an attempt to free himself from the web, but atomic breath is nowhere near as effective as a lighter, so he remains entangled in the spider's web. The spider uses its silk to trap all the prey it sees, aiming to stockpile food. No creature within its sight can escape. Even the foolish mantis, seeing this, still tries to fly over. After meeting its KPI, the spider begins to enjoy its meal. It injects a poisonous needle from its mouth into its prey. Witnessing this terrifying scene firsthand, knowing it is targeting him, Minizilla screams in fear, hoping for a way out. Over here, Godzilla, who is still asleep, is suddenly awakened by the sound of explosions. It turns out that the scientists are deploying technology to adjust the island's climate in an attempt to freeze the creatures on the island. Sensing that something is wrong and not seeing his son nearby, Godzilla runs to find him. He discovers that his son is in danger. He picks up a rock and throws it at the spider, then quickly rescues his foolish son. Caught off guard by the attack, the spider quickly retaliates by shooting spider silk at its enemy. Seeing this, Godzilla uses his atomic breath in retaliation. Realizing the situation is dire, the spider turns to flee back to its lair. However, Godzilla and his son have no intention of letting it escape and give chase. Godzilla continues to use his atomic breath, but this time the spider directly absorbs it. After gaining extra energy, the spider retaliates with a thick web spray. Godzilla is entangled in a large amount of spider silk, making it difficult for him to break free. Seeing this, Minizilla rushes in to help his father remove the silk. In his anxiety, Minizilla suddenly unleashes a burst of atomic breath, successfully halting the spider's attack. Seeing this, Godzilla struggles to get back on his feet and launches two consecutive blasts of atomic breath at the spider. For some reason, the spider is unable to absorb the attacks this time and collapses onto the ground. But unexpectedly, it was a ruse. The spider quickly shot a poisonous stinger towards Godzilla, causing him to stagger and lose control, crashing into the research base below where the scientists were located. With the successful release of a weather balloon containing a chemical bomb, the research team managed to alter the weather on the island. They transformed the island's weather from sunny to rainy, and then to a snowstorm that blanketed the sky. The snow fell heavily, covering the battlefield where the two giant monsters were fighting. Despite the sudden weather change, Godzilla continued his fierce battle with the giant spider. Seeing his father struggling, Minizilla stood by and used his atomic breath to assist his dad. Seeing this, the spider used its thick webbing to shoot towards the two Godzillas. However, it was quickly burned away by Godzilla's atomic breath and fell to the ground. After recovering from the shock caused by the spider's venomous sting, Godzilla unleashed all his power in a massive atomic breath attack aimed at the spider. It seemed to have an effect. Together with his son, Godzilla launched a final, concentrated atomic breath assault on the spider, successfully destroying it. After the battle, the two monsters made their way back to their lair. However, the island was now covered in a thick layer of white snow, and the blizzard continued to rage. Moving was extremely difficult. Minizilla, struggling against the snowstorm, eventually collapsed from exhaustion. Seeing his son lying helplessly in the blizzard, Godzilla turned back, wrapped Minazilla in his arms, and warmed him up, waiting for the storm to pass. Wrapped in his father's warm embrace, Minazilla felt a deep sense of comfort and happiness. The two of them, together, drifted into a long, peaceful winter sleep, sheltered from the storm. And the researchers have also escaped from the island. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you can see more interesting content in the future.